The Curse of Tutankhamun. Truth, myth, or ancient mystery. Deep in the Egyptian desert, among endless sands and ancient stone monuments, one of humanity's greatest mysteries remained hidden for thousands of years. This is the story of a young pharaoh whose name was almost forgotten after his death, but whose tomb would later make him one of the most famous rulers of ancient Egypt. When archaeologists discovered his burial chamber, the world was introduced to incredible treasures: a golden mask, precious jewelry, ancient weapons, and objects that had remained untouched for more than 3,000 years. But along with this discovery came a terrifying legend. People began to say that those who disturbed the pharaoh's rest would suffer from an ancient curse. Newspapers reported mysterious deaths, scientists debated the truth, and millions of people around the world wondered, did the curse of Tutankhamun really exist, or was it simply one of the greatest myths in history? To find the answer, we must travel back in time to the age of the great pharaohs, when Egypt was one of the most powerful civilizations on earth. The forgotten pharaoh today, the name Tutankhamun is known almost everywhere. His golden mask has become a symbol of ancient Egypt, and his tomb is considered one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in history. But during his lifetime, Tutankhamun was not the most powerful ruler. He became pharaoh at around 9 years old. Egypt was going through a difficult period at that time. Before him, Pharaoh Akhenaten ruled Egypt and changed the traditional religion of the country. He abandoned the worship of many gods and made Aten, the sun disk god, the main deity. These changes caused dissatisfaction among priests and ordinary people. After Akhenaten's death, Tutankhamun restored the old religious traditions and brought back the worship of the traditional Egyptian gods. However, his reign was short. Only about 10 years after becoming pharaoh, the young ruler died. The reason for his death remains one of history's greatest mysteries. The mystery of Tutankhamun's death. Why did a young pharaoh die so early? Scientists studied Tutankhamun's mummy using modern technology. CT scans revealed that the pharaoh had several health problems. Some researchers believe he may have suffered from inherited diseases that were common among Egyptian royal families. Others suggest that his death could have been caused by an infection after an injury or an accident. There was even a theory that the young pharaoh became a victim of a political conspiracy. However, there is no clear evidence to prove this. Today, most experts believe that Tutankhamun's death was likely caused by a combination of different factors. But the uncertainty surrounding his death has only made his story more mysterious. The search for the lost tomb. After his death, Tutankhamun was buried in the Valley of the Kings, a place where Egyptian pharaohs built their tombs. Over time, many royal tombs were discovered and robbed by treasure hunters. But Tutankhamun's burial place remained hidden. At the beginning of the 20th century, British archaeologist Howard Carter dedicated years to finding the lost tomb of the young pharaoh. Many believed it was impossible to find. Most researchers thought that all major tombs in the Valley of the Kings had already been discovered. But Carter continued his search. He was supported by Lord Carnarvon, a wealthy British aristocrat who financed the expedition. Finally, in November 1922, a discovery was made that changed the history of archaeology forever. Workers found stone steps leading underground. Carter realized that he might have discovered something extraordinary. The discovery of the tomb. When the entrance to the tomb was opened, archaeologists discovered a chamber filled with ancient treasures. Carter later described the moment when he looked inside the dark room with a candle. When he was asked, "Can you see anything?" he replied, "Yes, wonderful things." Before the researchers was a true time capsule. Inside were golden ornaments, statues, chariots, weapons, furniture, and thousands of other objects. But the greatest discovery was the burial chamber itself. There they found the sarcophagus of the young pharaoh, and inside was the famous golden mask of Tutankhamun. The mask is made of gold and became one of the most recognizable symbols of ancient civilization. How did the curse begin? After the tomb was discovered, newspapers began publishing sensational stories. Journalists claimed that there was an inscription inside the tomb warning anyone who disturbed the pharaoh's rest. According to the legend, the ancient Egyptians had created a curse that would destroy anyone who entered the burial chamber. But there is one problem. Archaeologists never found such an inscription. Despite this, the legend spread quickly. The reason was simple. A story about an ancient curse was perfect for newspapers. Mysterious tombs, mummies, forgotten pharaohs, and unexplained deaths created a fascinating story. People wanted to believe that ancient Egypt had preserved not only gold and treasures, but also magical secrets. The death of Lord Carnarvon. The event that made the curse legend even stronger was the death of Lord Carnarvon. He was one of the main people involved in the discovery of the tomb. Several months after the opening, he became seriously ill. He developed an infection after an insect bite, and his health rapidly declined. In 1923, Carnarvon died in Cairo. Newspapers immediately connected his death to the pharaoh's curse. They claimed that the first person to enter the tomb had been punished by ancient forces. Some even reported that the lights in Cairo went out at the exact moment of his death. However, historians believe this was more legend than fact. Were there other victims? After Carnarvon's death, journalists began searching for other mysterious cases among the people connected with the tomb's discovery. Any illness or death related to the expedition became part of the curse story. But historical research shows a different picture. Most members of the expedition lived long lives. Howard Carter, the archaeologist who discovered the tomb, died only 17 years after the discovery. If a real curse existed, the number of victims would have been much higher. Science versus legend. Why do people still believe in the curse today? One reason is humanity's fear of the unknown. Ancient tombs create a unique atmosphere. Thousands of years of silence, mummies, mysterious symbols, and stories about pharaohs naturally make people interested in the supernatural. There are also scientific theories. Closed tombs may have contained mold, bacteria, or other substances that could potentially affect human health. However, scientists have found no evidence that these factors caused the deaths of expedition members. The main reason the curse remains famous is not science. It is our fascination with mysteries. The true legacy of Tutankhamun. Today, the tomb of Tutankhamun is considered one of the most important archaeological discoveries ever made. It helped scientists learn more about the life of ancient Egyptians, their art, religion, technology, and traditions. Every object from the tomb tells a story. The golden jewelry reveals the incredible skills of ancient craftsmen. The furniture shows the lifestyle of the royal family. The weapons demonstrate the technological abilities of that era. Even ordinary objects help us understand what life was like more than 3,000 years ago. The final mystery. Does the curse of Tutankhamun really exist? From a scientific point of view, there is no evidence of a supernatural curse. but the legend continues to live. Perhaps the real mystery is not a magical force, but the fact that thousands of years later we can still connect with the story of an ancient person. Tutankhamun was a young ruler who lived a short life. But because of one discovered tomb, his name became immortal. His story reminds us that the past never truly disappears. Beneath the sands of Egypt, many secrets may still remain hidden. And perhaps one day, archaeologists will discover another tomb that will once again change our understanding of the ancient world. Until then, the golden mask of Tutankhamun continues to look back at us across thousands of years, reminding us of the greatness and mystery of one of the most fascinating civilizations in human history.